if whenever you and your partner have a disagreement, it seems to go from 0 to a million in about 3.1 seconds, then I have some advice for you. Hi, by the way, if you're new here, my name is Paige. I'm a relationship and life coach. So please do follow me if you want to stick around. Okay, I want to start by saying that, of course, disagreements in a relationship happen. You are two imperfect individuals trying to make a perfect relationship. Of course, you are going to disagree. You are two different human beings with different brains, different upbringings, different. However, there is a stark difference between a healthy disagreement or conflict and an unhealthy disagreement or conflict. And often it's really, really tough when we're in a relationship and we feel like we can't really express how we feel, or we can't even be bothered sometimes to express how we feel or have the conflict, because we know it's going to go from 0 to a million and be completely emotionally exhausting. So I have some advice for you. Often the reason arguments go from 0 to a million is because you are seeing each other as the problem instead of seeing the issue as the problem. So you end up throwing mud at each other rather than throwing mud at the problem. We get so caught up on how we're talking to each other and things we're saying to each other, and if it's delving into insults, that we miss the point of where the conversation started. And then you're versus each other rather than versus the problem. You're then not a team no longer. You're then on your own team trying to beat each other rather than a team trying to beat the game. So step one is to repeat back to each other what you've just said. Half of the issue with unhealthy arguments and unhealthy communication is because you're missing each other completely. You're taking things wrong, or even someone maybe isn't meaning to come across the way they come across, and they need to be told that that isn't okay. So repeat back what you've said to each other. Often you will either realise that actually what you've said is completely fine, or you will realise that it's been taken in the wrong way, or you'll realise that you've said it with a tone that maybe isn't ideal. A lot of the times in arguments it isn't what we're saying, it's how we're saying it. Next up is give each other a couple of minutes to get your point across. Set a timer, 2 to 3 minutes, get your point across. Respectfully, but get your point across without interruptions. And then let the other person have their turn. I also do just want to point out that it is never okay for someone to verbally or physically abuse you in any conflict. There is never an okay scenario for this to happen. Yes, conflicts happen. Yes, disagreements happen. But you should never, ever, ever be emotionally, physically, mentally abusing the other person in any way, shape or form.